The National Consumer Voice Residents' Voice Challenge 2023. What does it mean for people who live in long-term care facilities to be heard? And how do you make yourself heard?
I can't get the outside world to realize what the important issues are here.
When people come here, they give up so much that what they still have some control over or some say in becomes everything. It becomes the world to them.
Some people said, well, I'm labeled a troublemaker because I have a voice and I'm willing to express it. But I told her, I said, well, that's how you get heard. You open your voice.
It's good to be heard. It's not always, it's awful to know that you're being heard but ignored in one ear and out the other. It's nice to know that coming together, with each other is really where we're going to see amazing change start almost immediately.
The important thing is that you get some kind of feedback or some kind of change with an issue you brought up. One big issue here when I first got here was I was bedridden and I was given very limited food. And when I finally got more that I could get out of bed and go into the dining room, I found out that the reason I wasn't eating and other people weren't eating was because the food was bad. So we all joined together and went to our food committee and actually typed up a report that we ended up giving to management, outlined all the issues we had and all the concerns, and the great thing was our management actually heard us. So since then the food has gotten better, we've got a new chef, and we're eating, and I'm gaining weight, and there are going to be a lot less complaints. So that's a good example of when you feel heard, you've made a change.
What is it like to have our voices heard? It's very important because we're having an impact on how we live, and that's a good thing. There are times our voices aren't heard, and it's not a good feeling. You're like, oh my God, is this ever going to get done? But when our voices are heard, it's a feeling of success and togetherness, because it's not just one voice that's being heard. When one person speaks, it's for several. So that's a good thing.
The last 3 years or so have been very difficult now that people are listening. We just want to live in a place where it feels like our home and we're being treated with dignity and respect. And it's good to be heard and people start realizing you can't get away with this anymore. You've got to treat everybody with some dignity and help them when they can, because they're helpless without you. We need each other. We don't like being in this position at all. We want to be cared for the best we can and help us. Living through COVID, our voice was not being heard at that time. And for 4 years, I was a resident council president and tried to get administration to provide the right equipment. It took a lot to get our voices heard, and they weren't responding to my request to help the residents, veterans at that point. And it took me writing literally 10 letters to different departments in the state of New Jersey and then one to the federal government before people started listening.
I have value, and that's important to me, because too often when you get put on a shelf in a place like this, people lose their sense of value.
To know that they have a voice is like having gone into dark room and just feeling your way around for hours, and then all of a sudden a light bulb comes on. You don't know what it really is until you're a resident. Hello world, we're coming.